recording is going to go over the syllabus and the calendar for the term. So this is LVE 400. It is a 1 unit course. And this one is really a class that focuses on integrative learning, lifelong learning, reflection practices, and career readiness. So each course for LVE 400, the faculty get to pick their topic. So I have chosen self-care because I believe that self-care is something that we can grow from, on a personal level as well as in our careers. And so I think it's a great time graduating college to be really learning a lot of these skills. So some you may know, some you may not know, and then you can just grow on others, which is cool. So at the end of the course, you should be able to use your critical reflection skills in evaluating your experiences you have had here at Laverne. And integrating previous knowledge you have had and tying it in with new material, and then applying that learning in complex ways, and then evaluating your learning by making connections among ideas and devising goals for your future. So these are more, just typical classroom climate and relationships. And then here are the self-care services that are available. So please go through these, on your own time. And then you can always refer back to the syllabus too if you feel like, you don't need it now, but maybe you will in a few weeks. And then I want to jump into our course requirements. So this class is fully online. And it's a participatory course. That's one that is rich in dialogue. So attendance and participation are expected. And so because it's all online, how we will, and there's no live Zoom lectures. So how you will be, participating is through like the discussion board post, right? And so you can't pass this course with more than one missing discussion board post. And that's because basically if you're missing discussion board posts, you're missing that week's class, if that makes sense, as if it were in person, right? And you should be responding to at least 3 peers discussion board posts so you can learn and support each other. And then let's say if you did miss a discussion board post, you just would not receive credit for that week. And so for each week of class, since it's 8 weeks, you each week is worth 4 points. So if you missed one, you just wouldn't get those 4 points for that week. And then all assignments are due on Blackboard by 11:59 p.m. on the due date. And so I open the class up on Mondays of each week, typically on Monday, sometimes Tuesday, but most of the time Monday. And all assignments are due for that week, the following Sunday. So you'll have Monday through Sunday to complete all your work, including the assignments and discussion board posts. And if they are, and all assignments must be completed successfully to pass the class. And then assignments will not be accepted after the last day of class, because simply, grades, I need to get grades in. And so if they are past that, you'd be looking at an incomplete or taking the class again the next semester. And then late assignments will receive a full grade deduction for being late. So my recommendation, if anything major comes up, please send me an email before the assignment is due. Even if it's a few hours before, but like having that conversation, having that communication with me about what's going on, we can discuss if there will be, a full grade deduction for being late or not. And sometimes there still is, sometimes there is not. So it really just depends on what's going on. So please be emailing me to communicate what's happening. So another thing I wanted to add with assignments is if they are late, please don't expect the amount of feedback. So on like the journals, more of the writings. So on the journals and the last big assignment. So you would not be receiving as helpful feedback, as you would say, simply because, once it's late, it's hard also to give me enough time to do all that. How to contact me is through my Laverne email. It's bballard@laverne.edu. And then you can also email me through Blackboard. Sometimes I find those get lost a little bit in Blackboard and they might take me a little longer to answer. Sometimes not, but I have found that a couple times. Here's the grading breakdown. And you can always look at where you're at with grades in Blackboard and kind of tie it in to see what grade you're getting in the class so far. And then here's for our core assignments. And so as you can see, we can get participation points up to 32 points this semester. There are 2 journal assignments due, so that totals 50 points. So they're 25 each. And then we have the integrated learning capstone reflection assignment. That's due at the end of the term, and that's worth 100 points. So as you can see, this is a big heavy hitter of the grade. You really want to do a good job on this assignment because that really does impact your total grade in the course. And so we'll go over the first one, which is the integrated learning capstone reflection assignment. So this is the big assignment that is due the 7th week out of 8-week term. And so So we'll start with what the purpose is. So the purpose of the assignment is for students to make connections between prior learning with existing knowledge, to deepen their understanding of what and how they are learning while enhancing their own personal and professional development. So if done correctly, the LVE framework for critical reflection will assist students in accomplishing this goal. So learning objectives: after successful completion of this assignment, students will be able to 1, list and describe their experience; 2, view their understanding of information, integrate previous knowledge with new material, and apply their learning in increasing complex ways. So if you guys notice, this is really the objectives of the course, right? And then 3, you'd be evaluating your learning by making connections among ideas, stating personal and professional changes, and devising goals for the future. So, really what you'll be doing is you'll be picking an experience you have had during your time at ULV. So you'll want, that could be being on a sports team, that could be working on campus somewhere, or a certain class, or experience with a certain professor or peers, or a project you took a part of, you were a part of. So really just a specific experience you have had at your time at Laverne. And if you ever have kind of a question, like you're not sure if your experience works for this assignment, please let me know a week before this assignment's due, or 2 weeks before, and we can talk about it and see if that's, you're on the right path. But I really do want you to pick an experience that has happened, at Laverne. And then you could even pick this class if you'd like. Okay. So here's a good pointer: is please think about the experience that you choose as it relates to your learning, both today and in the future. Therefore, choose an experience where you feel like you learned something substantial. And so there's a lot of hints in the directions, and I would say take some time to read over the directions because it kind of can feel a little confusing, but it's actually pretty clear, and it breaks it down pretty well for you. And again, if you do have questions on the assignment, you can always reach out. And so my recommendation too is to just rewatch this part of the video when the assignment's due, just to help you go through it again. And so step 1 is it is a bullet point list. So it says list, you just bullet point out the responses to your prompts, okay? And so the rubric really does count, if you have clearly answered these 6 prompts. I'm not looking for a paragraph for each. They're pretty basic. I'm looking for maybe 1 to 2 sentences. It should be about a paragraph, 3/4 page max, to answer step 1. So this is the smallest piece. It's really just kind of giving us a framework, what your experience was that you're going to be reflecting on. Okay. And then here's a hint for step 2 and step 3 is to complete steps 2 and 3. Your answers to the prompts are organized into one coherent paper using grammatically correct sentences and full paragraphs. So the prompts are provided to stimulate your personal view on the experience, which is step 2, and then evaluate your learning from the experience. So therefore, there's no need to include or rewrite prompts in your paper because really it is just a essay format. But my recommendation is, you could always have headers. I know for myself grading that's helpful. I know for you guys it could be helpful kind of just breaking it down. Like you could have step 1 or step 2, or you could have list, or you could have view for the header titles. That's my recommendation, is to use some headers just to break it up. And then I will be, by the way, putting up an example of a really good organized one. I will be putting a student paper up that can give you kind of an example. You don't have to do it the same exact way. It's just a helpful kind of example of how to write the paper. And then here are the prompts you will be writing through your essay format. So, what's your perspective on your personal views of the experience? What is your understanding of your experience? And so you're really kind of reflecting on the actual experience, right? Step 3 is then taking that reflection and now evaluating your learning. Like, what did you learn from that actual experience? And then how do you grow from it? And then these are your prompts for that. And so when I am grading, I do use this rubric. And so if you see here, I say, please include rubric at the end of your paper when uploading it to Blackboard. So that's really helpful for me because then I just go into Blackboard and I'll write your score in right on the Blackboard submittal. So please, when you're submitting your papers to Blackboard, don't copy and paste into it because then I can't provide feedback to the actual paper. And when you're uploading it, please make sure it's the correct format where it just pops up for me, right? And I can add in comments. And so again, upload, please. And then this paper is a 6-page paper. I want to say it says it at the beginning. I was looking. Maybe it's at the end. Okay, I don't see here where it says it's 6 pages, but this is a 6-page paper. I would say if you're looking at like 4.5 pages, you're missing some deeper reflection. So I would recommend looking back and seeing where you could reflect further to include, here it is. Oh no, yeah, right here. The end result will be approximately 6 pages in length. So between 5.5, 6 pages, I might write a comment like it's a little on the short side. Maybe take off a few points if I see that there's depth that could have been done. But if I do see about 5.5 pages and you did a very well job at reflecting, I wouldn't take off points. It really just depends. But when I see 5 pages or less, that's when I deduct points. I would say 1-inch margins, Times New Roman, and 12-point font, and really kind of just the standards for MLA or APA, but at the same time we're not using those because this is a reflective paper. It's not, there's no research in it. So for your journal entries, they're basically, these are the prompts you would be following. Please respond to all the prompts. And they're 2 pages each. And then they basically connect to the lectures you have already watched. And so this is my way too of also being to ensure, you are watching the lectures and learning from them. And then what's cool is that these are really just tying into your own experiences, like on those topics. Okay. Here's our baccalaureate learning outcomes. The ones in bold are the ones that this class does cover if you want to, check those out in the future. And then I'm going to go over to our calendar. And so it's pretty simple. It's 1 page. Assignments, like I said, are due 11:59 p.m. on Sunday. So if class is 4/4, which is Monday, that following Sunday, the assignments would be due. And that includes the discussion board posts. And so if you see here, it says, watch, lecture number 1, and then review syllabus and calendar documents and video reviews. That's like this video. And then discussion board post that is due for that week for participatory points is the introductions discussion board. And that'll be like on, your Blackboard week 1. It's pretty basic, pretty organized on Blackboard for you to follow. And then, like I said, I usually open these up on Mondays, and then I'll send out weekly like a email announcement that'll let you know when that week content has opened, and then I'll kind of review like what's due, what's to come, and things like that. And so if you see here, so we have a discussion board due every week. That's really kind of like how you participate in the actual class time. And then some weeks you have assignments due, some weeks you don't. So if you see here, our 3rd week, you have your journal reflection due. Your 5th week, you have your 2nd journal reflection due. And then week 7, this is your big assignment that you have due. And then the last week of class, you just have your discussion board. And so by the end of that week or near the end, a few days after that is when I can finish grading and have that all done for you guys. So if you have further questions on the calendar or the syllabus, just please reach out to me and I'd be happy to answer you. So I usually answer students, within 2 to 3 days. And if it's any longer than that, please reach out again because it means I might not have gotten it. So double check the email address as well. Okay. Thank you guys. Bye.